Long, long ago, in the mountain lands of old Armenia, there stood a beautiful stone kingdom surrounded by rivers, valleys, and snow-tipped peaks. The people loved their king. He was not only brave, but thoughtful and fair. Yet there was one thing he disliked more than anything else: confusion. One quiet morning, as the king sat upon his stone throne, a strange messenger arrived from a distant land. The man bowed low, walked slowly into the great hall, and without speaking a single word, he bent down and drew a long, dark line on the palace floor, all around the king's throne. The royal court gasped. The king looked at the line carefully and asked, "What does this mean?" But the messenger remained silent. The king called his ministers. The ministers called the wisest men of the kingdom. Yet no one could understand the meaning of the silent line. The king grew worried. "Travel across the land," he ordered. "Find someone who can solve this mystery." So the wise men set out. They walked through rocky paths, past rivers and villages, until on the third day they reached a small stone house at the edge of the kingdom. As they stepped inside, tiny bells rang softly. What they saw amazed them. A heavy pestle was pounding grain, all by itself. A cradle was rocking gently, though no baby was there. On the roof, corn was spread out to dry, and a large fan was moving, though there was no wind. "It must be magic," the wise men whispered. Then they heard the gentle sound of a loom. Click, clack, click, clack. In the last room, they saw a poor Armenian weaver calmly working at his wooden loom. They told him everything. The weaver smiled kindly. "There is no magic here," he said. "All these things are tied to my loom with strings. When I weave, they move." The wise men bowed in respect. They had not found magic. They had found wisdom. They humbly asked the weaver to come with them to the palace. The next morning, the royal court was silent. The strange messenger stood before the throne once again. The weaver stepped forward. He opened his small cloth bag and gently dropped a few tiny toys on the stone floor. The court looked on in confusion. The messenger answered by throwing a handful of grains onto the floor. The king watched closely. Then the weaver calmly placed a chicken near the grains. The chicken quickly pecked and ate every single grain. The messenger's face changed. Without a word, he bowed deeply, turned, ran from the hall, mounted his horse, and rode away from the kingdom as fast as he could. The king turned to the weaver. "Tell me," he said, "what did all this mean?" The weaver bowed and replied, "The dark line meant their king planned to surround your kingdom. The toys were my answer to say your soldiers appear playful and harmless. The grains showed that their army is large, and the chicken showed that if they attack, none of them will return." The king's eyes widened. Wisdom had saved his kingdom. The king rose from his throne and said, "Today, intelligence has protected this land more than any army." He offered the weaver gold and a high place in the palace, but the weaver smiled and bowed. "I am happy at my loom, your majesty." The king embraced him, and from that day on, the people of Armenia remembered, not all battles are fought with swords. Some are won with wisdom. True strength lies in intelligence, not in violence.